In this session, we're going to explore the watch and watch diff commands. Arista developers and engineers are some of the most experienced in the industry, and from those resumes comes plenty of operations and management experience. To assist with the upkeep of network operations, Arista has provided several cool features. Some examples are the watch and watch diff commands. Picture this. You're approached by another team, perhaps a server team or an application owner, and they are complaining of performance issues. Of course, the network's always guilty until proven innocent, so they insist that the performance degradation is being caused by the network. So you spend some time with them mapping out the end-to-end connectivity of the data path for this application, and you begin by looking at the logs of all your network devices. Next, you move on to looking at the interfaces using the show interface Ethernet 1 command. You take a look at each interface in the path with a focus on the interface load and for any errors. Finding nothing that sticks out as a problem, you ask them to start running the application in an attempt to duplicate the problem and catch it in action. Let's say you're focused on interface Ethernet 1. So you issue the command show interface Ethernet 1 and hit enter. And then you up arrow show interface Ethernet 1 and hit enter. And then you up arrow and issue show interface Ethernet 1 and hit enter. Sound familiar? But what if there was a command you could issue once and then watch the updates appear on your screen at regular intervals, just as if you were reissuing the command yourself? Here's where the watch command comes in handy. Instead of reissuing show interface Ethernet 1 over and over, issue the command watch show interface Ethernet 1 and hit enter. Notice how the console clears and displays the output of your show interface command. At the top left, you can see the default refresh interval, or the reissue of the command interval, is 2 seconds. To stop the command, just type Control-C. Nice. Now you don't have to up arrow and hit enter to keep reissuing the same command just to see if any of the values have changed. But you have to review the entire output, looking for anything that changed. That requires you to make note of the output every time the command ran to compare that to the most recent output. What if we could flag the changes since the last output to make it easier to recognize any differences? That's where the watch diff command comes in. Instead of issuing watch show interface Ethernet 1, issue the command watch diff show interface Ethernet 1 and hit enter. Notice how any change is highlighted in the output, and only the changes are flagged, making it much easier to evaluate that output. Just as with the watch command, if you're in the middle of a watch diff running and want it to stop, you issue Control-C. What if the 2-second interval is too frequent? Let's say you want to see the command repeated every 5 seconds instead. If you type watch space question mark, you can see that we have an interval option where the values can be 1 to 9,999 seconds, with the default being 2 seconds. So to see the command repeated every 5 seconds, issue the command watch 5 diff show interface Ethernet 1 and hit enter. Notice in the top left that our repeat interval is now 5 seconds instead of the default of 2. And to cancel, just simply type Control-C. As you can see, the watch and watch diff commands can save you a lot of repeat command sequences, and how the highlight of the diff can help you focus on any changes in the output from the previous issuing of the command. This is very helpful for troubleshooting situations.